Hello everyone. You have to bear with me here. Hopefully you can hear me. Got it in my ears, but hopefully you can hear me. I've had to duck outside because my youngest son has taken over the TV and it's nice and loud inside. We had a few questions today via direct message, so please don't be scared or shy to send me a direct message if you don't want to put your message up on the group in front of everybody. That's totally fine. A lot of this stuff can be quite confronting when you're talking about your health, and you might have come across other situations in the past where you might have felt judged by asking a question. Please, this is a completely safe space, so if it's more comfortable for you to ask a question directly to me, then that's completely fine. I'm more than happy to do that and answer those questions that way too. So I had a question today around psoriasis and the link between psoriasis and gut health. This is a tricky one because, for those that don't know, psoriasis is a skin condition and it's often called an autoimmune skin condition, which means that your immune system is basically working too hard and misfiring and then causing some sort of disrupt in your health. So I have type 1 diabetes, and it was always explained to me, and I thought this was a really easy way to explain autoimmune conditions. That was explained to me that I had some sort of virus, and then my bugs in my body, which were trying to keep me healthy, killed off some of the functioning cells that actually helped my body to produce insulin, then resulting in type 1 diabetes. So autoimmune conditions basically work depending on, it doesn't really matter what it is, like diabetes, psoriasis, celiac disease. Your body has killed off or is not dealing with some cells that are meant to be helping you and helping you to function normally. Everyone's normal, but that's from a medical perspective, you need extra help, or there becomes an ailment that flares up. It is really controversial, all the evidence between psoriasis and gut. So in my research, there's often lots of articles that jump up, but there was even a few that I'd found. I just thought I'd have a quick look at the most recent evidence. There was a couple that came up that were also actually retracted from journals. So whenever I do any research on anything, it's always looking at the evidence-based, peer-reviewed journal articles. And some of the ones, like the gut microbiota composition in patients with psoriasis, or how psoriasis is affected by the gut microbiota, some of them had been retracted, which means that maybe they had the evidence or the research had been found to be whoever had conducted it might have had a secondary gain from that, and therefore it could be that the research is then biased. So it's very hard to get any specific information on the gut and psoriasis. If we take a step back and look at the gut, how the gut works and how inflammation works, because inflammation is basically like when you have psoriasis, your skin is inflamed. There's cells that are producing too quickly and building up, and not your body's basically producing too many cells, too many skin cells, and then they build up, and the inflammation can occur. So if we look at inflammation, we definitely know that there is a link between gut health and inflammation. So from that perspective, if you can help improve your gut health and therefore hopefully reduce your inflammation, then potentially you can be helping your skin, or I always look at it as doing the best you can for your health, rather than looking at curing or directly relating to it, because when it comes down to it, we are all completely different people. We're all made up of a different mix of cells, a different mix of DNA. There is literally nobody else in the world like you. So if you are doing the best that you believe that you can do, then that's hopefully going to help promote health in your system. Now, when we talk about the gut microbiome, that is basically the city of bugs that are living in your guts. So we know that, I think it's by about the age, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty certain it's by the age of 3, you have the diversity of your gut bugs, so the different types of bugs living in your city, in your gut, have been defined, and so has the number. So basically, when you expose yourself to as many foods as you can, you help to increase the diversity of the gut bugs in your system, and then it's about trying to keep them alive and keep them really fruitful. So it's a very young age that those gut bugs are developed. Now, it does not to say that we can't optimize, and we're still learning about this as well. This is all very baseline evidence at the moment. But all the things that I post about in the group, like resistant starch, is something that we've learned more recently about. So resistant starch actually helps to change the pH of the gut to help, or types of resistant starch do, to help promote good gut flora and to help promote the health of the gut bugs that are living there. So getting lots of fruits and vegetables, as minimal processed foods as you can, and going for the way that foods were intended first, making that your baseline diet, is going to be helpful for that. But what we are learning more about is that resistant starch and the effect that it has on the good gut bugs. So I guess to answer the question about how you've heard that gut health can improve psoriasis, maybe it can, maybe it can't, depends on the person. So what we do know is that if you can improve your gut health as much as you can, and then hopefully promote the anti-inflammatory properties that the gut can help to balance things out with. I wouldn't go off straight away and recommend blanket to everybody a probiotic. Same reason. So the reason being that everybody's gut bugs are completely different. So it's just like we have a completely unique set of DNA, we are beginning to learn that we have a completely unique set of gut bugs. So that diversity, so the different types, and then the number are all different for every single human. That's what we are learning. So to say go out and have this particular type of probiotic to help your psoriasis, we don't know enough about that yet. We don't know enough about your gut bugs, and we don't know enough about the gut bugs that help to improve psoriasis yet to do that. I went to a gut health symposium a couple of years ago, and they were talking about maybe in the future we might do samples, like you might take samples. So you walk into the doctor and here's my sample of my probably poo. Tell me what my gut flora looks like and tell me what I need to do to try and improve it. So there's something to look out for later down the track. We had another question from Rod, which I'm not sure if he's there or not, but thank you for putting that in the group. It's a really common one that I get often. Question was, I have diabetes and high blood pressure and I'm overweight and I've struggled with this for a long time. What's the best type of diet for me? No one size fits all approach, unfortunately. That can become very individual, and we really need to prioritize the goals first. So is the goal to improve diabetes management? Is the goal to look at helping assist with lowering blood pressure? Is it to help with reducing weight? Just dropping your weight won't necessarily improve your diabetes or your high blood pressure, because if you went on a diet, for example, one of these juice cleanse diets or something, where you drop 5 kilos in 5 days, that could actually be detrimental to your system because it is such a shock to the system. So the one thing that you really can't go wrong on is increasing the fiber in your diet, ideally from vegetables. And it's also about trying to balance out the nutrients that you have. So I literally went through this with a person yesterday, probably a very, very similar situation. So diabetes with high blood pressure and needing to lose weight, wanting to lose weight in the hopes that would help to improve things. So we went through and broke down, this person wasn't eating too much, I wouldn't say, but the balance of the nutrients between fruits, vegetables, dairy, grains and proteins was out of whack. So we ideally want to make most of our diet come from plant-based sources, and then with parts coming from protein-based sources, which could be from animals or plant-based, depending on your preference. So at least 5 serves of vegetables every single day, as little processing as you can to them. That would be my number one recommendation. Without knowing anything more about anyone else, aiming for at least 5 serves of vegetables every single day. So that can be in the form of salads, soups, stir fries, cooked veggies, roast veggies, however it might come. But improving your veggie intake helps to increase your fiber intake. And when your body has to break down fiber as well as the other foods that you're eating, like carbohydrates, it takes it a lot longer to do that, which then helps to reduce the peak in your blood sugar. So if we eat a piece of bread, for example, on its own, our blood sugar goes straight up, and then we get sensors go and tell the pancreas that it needs to produce insulin, and then your body starts to produce insulin that starts to come down slowly. If you mix protein or fiber or good fats with that, excuse me, the peak so you say you put avocado and tomato on toast instead of just having Vegemite on toast. So if you put avocado and tomato on it, the body, as you're eating it, you're getting the sugar from the bread, the carbohydrate from the bread, but the avocado and tomato are providing fiber and good fats. And your body actually has to pull that apart at the same time as trying to pull apart the carbohydrates to get it into a blood level digestible form. And that slows down the speed or the rate at which it can pull out those sugars and carbohydrates. So if you add in those fibers and proteins and fats, it can help to level out your blood sugars a little bit better. This is literally what we were talking about with my client yesterday. It can level out those blood sugars a bit better, which can help to prevent the peak and then the drop, because the drop in blood sugar can also make you feel hungry, shaky, lightheaded, crave sugar, all that sort of thing as well. So the safest suggestion I can make is try and make sure that you're getting 5 serves of vegetables every single day, spread across your day, and making sure that the amount of carbohydrate that you're having isn't lumped in one big meal or one big place across the day. We want to try and spread that out if you're going to have it. The other thing that's really important with blood pressure, diabetes, and looking at weight management is making sure that you're getting movement. So exercise or exercise is a form of medicine for people with blood sugar control issues. So when we exercise, our body doesn't actually need as much insulin to make the sugar go from your blood into your muscles or into your liver or wherever it needs to go. So it pulls your blood pulls the sugar out of, your muscles pull the sugar out of your blood without needing insulin during exercise. So the more often you can get any movement in, the more you're going to help your body turn that sugar over and use it up, because that's what we need it for. That's what it's there for. That's what we need to eat these things for. So it can think of exercise as medicine, because it really is a form of medicine. And that doesn't just happen in people with diabetes, that happens in people who don't have diabetes. So as much movement as you can get to help assist your blood sugars is really, really important. Does anybody else who is watching have any questions while we're there? If you're still struggling, if anybody has any more specific questions around the type of diet that is right for them, I would really encourage you either chatting to your doctor or getting a referral to a dietitian, or reaching out to me on direct message, and we can set up a dietitian consultation that way. It's without knowing your full history. So an initial consultation with me is an hour generally. Often it goes over that as well, because a lot of that time I'm just collecting information about you as a person, where you've been, how you got to where you are, what you've tried, and where you want to go next. So for me to make a comment on what is the best type of diet for somebody on just one single comment, I actually can't do it. It's really, really difficult. And it would be a bit negligent if I didn't get all of that background info. You wouldn't be getting the most out of it either. So please feel free to reach out if you'd like to have a further chat about that, to see if you can learn more about yourself and your own diet and your health. and wherever else you'd like to go with all of that. If nobody else has any questions, I'm going to sign off for this Friday. I'm going to go and pick up the kids now, or the other one, and head away for the weekend. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. Bye!